Hey guys, Mark McKillier here with liveanabolic.com, and in this video I'm going to show you the best resistance band exercises that you can do to build muscle. Now guys, I'm 57. A lot of you out there are going to be over 40. Matter of fact, a lot of you guys are probably in your 60s that are watching this video. And you're going to hear me preach all the time how important it is to do resistance training, especially as we get older. I think it's far more important to do resistance training as we get older than when we are in our 20s. Let's put more emphasis on lifting weights and using resistance bands to build muscle. More emphasis on that versus cardio. A lot of you guys like to jog and all that stuff. That's wonderful. Keep doing it. But it's not as important for you as trying to build muscle. And of course, I've shot other videos. I don't want to get into the details, but building muscle helps increase our testosterone level. It makes our bones stronger, it makes our joints stronger, it helps our balance, our coordination, all kinds of things. So I'm going to show you how to build muscle using nothing more than some simple resistance bands. Guys, there are 5 major muscle groups in your body if you don't consider your core a muscle group. So we got our chest, our back, our shoulders, our arms, and our legs, okay? I'm going to show you how to use resistance bands to hit every single one of those muscle groups. Plus, I'm going to show you how to hit your core with resistance bands. Now, building muscle is really important for all those reasons I mentioned, but guess what the biggest muscle group in your body is? Legs. All right, huge muscle group. And because of that, I'm going to show you 2 different leg exercises because I think you got to put more emphasis on your legs than all these small muscle groups like your shoulders. So, very first exercise on how to build muscle, old standby, fantastic movement, it's a squat. But guys, just doing body weight squats isn't enough. I want you to add resistance, and these bands are a real simple way to do it. All right, make sure the bands are equal length on both sides, okay? All right, I'm just gonna bring the handles up here, okay? I'm gonna put them and lock them into place, all right? So here we go. Let's go through some squats here, guys. Now, listen to your body, okay? If you can't go all the way down, you can only get to here, that's great. All right, just do these. If you can go deeper, wonderful. The bigger range of motion, the better, guys. All right, I'm trying to keep my back straight. All right, I don't want you to bend over like this. That's not a squat, okay? So the very first thing you do on a squat to keep your back straight is stick your butt out, then bend the knees and go straight down, okay? That is one of the best all-around exercises for building muscle because not only are we targeting our legs, it's getting our glutes, our core, all these little stabilizer muscles. Fantastic. It's going to get you out of breath too. All right, let's move on to exercise number 2. I'm going to be targeting my chest. So I'm going to take the handles off and I'm going to attach them to some bands that I have down here. I've already anchored them down at the floor here. I'm going to be using a low anchor position. I'll show you guys how to do some flies, okay? All right, so you got to step away from the door, okay, away from the anchor, because I want you to preload the bands with a little tension. Then spread your feet out. You're going to need to do this for a nice solid base, okay? Now flies are a movement where I'm going to keep my elbows bent, okay? You don't need to have a straight elbow. Don't do that, okay? Have a nice little bend in your elbows, and then I'm going to bring the handles from kind of a low position down towards the anchor, which is at the bottom of the door. And then I'm going to bring my hands up to around face level, okay? And guys, you're going to notice those elbows are bent throughout the full range of the motion. And I'm feeling, from a mind-muscle connection, I'm feeling like I'm trying to hug a big giant barrel, okay? Nice, slow, controlled movement, okay? So Great exercise for our chest. That's another big muscle group. Okay, guys, gonna hit our back. Now, a back is a really big muscle group. Very strong. We're gonna be working lots of little tiny different muscle groups that comprise the overall back. And that means I need to add resistance bands. So you'll notice I got 2 bands on here right now, okay? You're gonna need a lot of tension, okay, to really put enough stress on our back muscles to tear those muscle fibers down, because that's what we're looking to do. We're actually trying to damage our muscles. I know it sounds crazy, that when you create microscopic tears in those muscles, your body overcompensates when it heals over the course of the next 2 to 3 days, and that muscle comes back a little bit bigger and a little bit stronger than it was before. You do that for weeks and weeks and months, guess what? You build big muscles. So, I'm gonna show you how to do some rows here with a low anchor, okay? So once again, I want you to preload, which means I gotta step away from the anchor, okay? I want some tension in these bands, okay, before I even start. Now, I bend my knees and keep my back straight. I don't want you guys bending over like this, okay? So I want you to keep a nice straight back. You're gonna feel like your butt's kind of sticking out, okay? And then I'm just gonna slowly bring those handles back and then squeeze at the top of the movement here, guys. And the mind-muscle connection here is, don't worry about the handles. I want you to focus on bringing your elbows back, okay? That's the trick here, guys. When you're doing this motion, okay, if you try to just bring your elbows back as far as you can and then squeeze those shoulder blades, that will be the perfect form, okay? A lot of guys really focus on bringing their hands back, okay? And that works to some extent, but it adds a lot of bicep into the movement, okay? And we're trying to focus really on the back. So just bring those elbows back and squeeze, and then resist the bands on the way down. All right, fantastic exercise for your back, and that is a huge muscle group. Okay, let's move on to our 4th muscle group, and that is our arms. Now, I'm gonna break arms up into actually 2 sub-muscle groups, biceps and triceps. So, I wanna show you how to hit those triceps real quick here. So, you put the anchor up at the top of the door, because I'm gonna be doing some push downs, okay? This is, I think, the simplest and most effective exercise for hitting our triceps. So, you got a lot of leverage over the bands here. I actually have to use 2 bands to get enough resistance. You guys probably will also. So I step away from the door a little bit. I want a little tension here, okay? I'm gonna bend over at the waist, keep my back straight, okay? Keep my elbows tucked in nice to my side, okay? And then I'm just gonna push these handles down to my thighs. And then I'm gonna have a nice slow tempo. And at the bottom of the movement, okay, try to lock your elbows out nice and straight and squeeze those triceps. You'll really be able to feel a great burn if you're doing this right, okay? If you have enough tension and if you squeeze at the bottom of the movement, lock those elbows out, and then resist the handles on the upward movement nice and slowly, okay? Don't let these handles just pop up, okay? Slow down. Slow up, down, slow up. All right, we just finished doing our triceps. Now we got to hit the front part of the arm, our biceps. Everybody loves doing curls, right? I'm gonna put a little twist on it. Instead of doing both arms at the same time, I want to do 1 arm concentration curls. So I've grabbed both handles here, okay? I'm just gonna step on the loop, and effectively what I'm doing here is I'm using 2 bands, right? Because I'm having to stretch both bands because I'm using both handles at the same time. Now, I want to concentrate on just 1 arm, okay? So I'm going to put my offhand on my waist here, and I'm going to put my elbow right on top of that hand, okay? That's going to be basically the anchor point. So now, my elbow can't move back and forth. My elbow's locked in place, all right? And I got a little bit of tension down here at the bottom of the movement. And I'm just going to bring these handles straight up to my face and then back down. Now, my elbows locked into position, okay? You're gonna see that elbow just resting on top of my other hand here. And this basically means we're using strict form through the entire range of motion, guys. At the top of the movement, man, get that hand up there as close to your face as you can. That'll give you the biggest range of motion possible. All right, real straightforward. Flip it over to the other side. Okay, off hand on my hip, elbow on that hand, and I'm just focusing on bringing the handles up to my face. Now guys, see how slow I'm lowering it? Okay, if you just let the handle snap back like that, you're not going to accomplish much. Okay, so once again, good form means elbow stays still in one place, and I resist the bands both on the way up and the way down. Okay, moving on to a completely different muscle group, our shoulders now. All right, I love this exercise with resistance bands. It's fantastic. Matter of fact, I think it's probably better than using dumbbells, okay? So our shoulders are a fairly big muscle group, but this exercise movement, okay, puts our shoulders at a mechanical disadvantage relative to these bands. So guess what? You're not gonna be able to use a very thick band, okay? So here we go. We're gonna stand on the bands just like we were doing curls, okay? Got to center those handles from side to side, stand up. Real straightforward, guys. I want you to keep a slight bend in your elbows in this movement, and I'm just going to raise those handles up to about shoulder height and then back down. So you don't need to lock your arms, don't do that, okay? Nice little bend in the elbows, bring it up. So guys, what you want to focus on in this movement is getting that elbow up, okay? So don't let your hand come up high like this. Bring those elbows up and your hands will follow. Man, I love this exercise. You guys, if you pick the right resistance band and you do it nice and slow, after about 10 to 12 reps, you're gonna feel an incredible burn in your shoulders, guys. Oh. Not only do you get a burn, you get a really good pump. And guess what? If you can build big shoulders, that makes your body look wider up top. And that, guess what? That makes your waist look smaller. Okay, so wide shoulders, relatively speaking, make your waist look smaller, even if you haven't lost any fat. Okay, so that is a trick on how to make yourself look skinnier, build big shoulders. All right, guys, now to wrap it all up, I'm going to show you how to do some core exercises with resistance bands. Now, there's tons of different ways to do this, but this is a really fun, creative way to hit your core. All right, so you'll notice I have a high anchor here, okay? I've looped the band back to a single handle, all righty? Now, I'm going to grab the handle with both hands like this. Now, I got to step away from the door pretty far because I want some tension, okay, up here. When I start this movement, and I'm have a really wide base, okay? My legs are really spread far apart, okay? So I'm gonna start up high, and I'm gonna bring the handle down low, okay? Up, down, and across. Okay, basically like I got an axe in my hand, and I'm chopping a log here. So we're gonna do one side, okay? And then real straightforward, we're just gonna turn around and do the other side. All right, guys. Wow, just nothing but resistance bands. And we did basically a full body workout. I like to break it down into 5 distinct muscle groups, all right? So we got our chest, our back, our shoulders, our arms, and our legs. Our core would be the 6 distinct muscle group. So guys, it's as simple as picking the correct colors and resistance for each individual exercise. You have to add enough resistance, okay, that by the 10th or 12th rep, you're completely fatigued. When that happens, of course, you damage the muscles, which is really what we're trying to do. And the more damage we create to our muscles, the more your body overcompensates, okay, when those muscles heal, which means they come back stronger and bigger than before. So guys, you can get a fantastic resistance muscle building exercise in just using bands. All right, guys, this is just an example of just a few of the exercises that I'll show y'all how to do in my all-new Fit After 50 program. Guys, it's a comprehensive 3-phase workout program designed for guys just like you and me. It takes you from really basic beginner level exercises, and then over the course of several months, I add complexity, I add intensity. We learn how to do certain things like high intensity interval training. We do metabolic resistance training. And by the end of the 3rd phase, you guys are gonna be ripped. You will have lost a ton of fat. You'll be in much better shape. You'll be stronger. Your testosterone levels will have skyrocketed. Guys, Fit After 50 is a fantastic program. Everybody can do it. You don't need to go and get a gym membership. You don't need a bunch of expensive equipment at home. Nothing more than some simple dumbbells and resistance bands, and you guys will get ripped. Fit After 50 is for everybody. You gotta check it out. And as always, guys, it doesn't happen overnight. You gotta always stick with it and never give up on yourself.